Hello friends, our testimony today is about one Lidia Arena. And she is now a talented 20-year-old, very outward going person, but it was not always like this, because when she was just 2 years old, she had a scrape with death. She stared death right in the face. So how was she going to get out of that predicament? Of course, one of the great saints helped her. So do stay tuned to find out. Hello friends, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this channel. And here on Great Saints, we take a journey upstream, you could say, to the pure sources of the great saints and their examples from Padre Pio and beyond. So do join us in this apostolate. And then, as the great Saint Francis of Assisi used to say, may the Lord give you his peace. This took place during a Sicilian meeting of the Padre Pio prayer groups. And this story was in fact told by Maurizio and Francesca Arena, Lidia's parents. And this happened, they told the story in the cathedral of the city of Catania. So it wasn't just hearsay, and certainly the parents would be the ones who know the story. Now Saint Pio explained, Mr. and Mrs. Arena, they saved our daughter Lidia when she was just 2 years old. Lidia came down with this hemorrhagic measles, and then she developed a very, very high fever. So the typical symptoms of hemorrhagic measles, characterized by a high fever, 106 degrees, seizures, delirium, respiratory distress, hemorrhage into the skin, things like that. So it's a terrible thing. And so we had to admit Lidia to the hospital, the San Giovanni de Diore de Santa Isidore. It's a hospital in Chiare. But there, the head physician examined her, and then he came to this conclusion. He said, the situation is desperate. There is, in fact, little we can do. And so, of course, we were absolutely devastated by this news. And even now, 18 years later, when Maurizio tells the story, he breaks out in goosebumps all over, just talking about the story. Lidia's parents, they turned in desperation now to a devotee of Padre Pio. Please help us. And we were then introduced to a friend of hers, Mrs. Narina Raspassardi, who had a glove relic of Padre Pio. So of course with the glove relic, Padre Pio wore these fingerless gloves, and it would have touched his stigmata. Mrs. Raspassardi had been given this glove, of course, with the specific intention, with the mission of going out and helping the sick and the most desperate cases. So she really had a healing ministry. And so trusting in faith, we now rub this glove on the back of Lidia. During that night, something unexpected happened, and Lidia was healed. It was to the doctor's amazement. It was inexplicable. They had no answer for it. And the healing of Lidia, they tell us, was both instantaneous and lasting. So from death's door, she had literally come right back. Lidia's parents concluded their testimony. And then afterwards, when we showed a little picture of Padre Pio, Saint Pio, to the girl, she told us about a dream that she had had. And she said, I recognize him because he was the one who embraced me and helped me to get better. And my daughter is now a beautiful and perfectly healthy, very talented young lady. And this story was told to the Giornale di Sicilia. So this was a very short testimony today, but if you want to see others, then do continue watching the other videos on the end screen. And to be part of this apostolate, do make sure that you are subscribed to this channel, and then help us to grow the channel as well by liking the video, sharing the video, adding your comments below as well. We thank you for watching, and we hope to see you next time.